Welcome to Empowered, the podcast. I'm Linda Brand, your host, and I'm here to take you on a journey of growth, healing, and self-discovery. In this space, we explore what it means to truly step into your power and create a life you love. Every episode brings you transformational stories, inspiring interviews, and actionable insights on health, wellness, and mindset. Because let's face it, without our health, we have nothing. I'm joined by coaches, authors, healers, and extraordinary guests, sharing their wisdom to help you become the best version of yourself. And you'll also hear from me in solo episodes diving deep into topics that matter most on the journey to empowerment. So if you're ready to break free, grow, and ignite your potential, you're in the right place. Let's get empowered together. Hello and welcome back to Empowered, the podcast. I'm your host, Linda Brand. Thank you for being here. I am so excited for today's guest. I love this woman with all of my heart and soul. She is a manifestation queen. Her name is Kathleen Cameron. She is a success, life, and manifestation coach. She is an 8-figure entrepreneur and record-breaking author. She built a $10 million business in 2 years. She's a former nurse. She's written 2 books. And with her determination, unwavering faith, and powers of manifestation, she has helped over 100,000 people attract more love, money, and success into their lives. Her innovative approaches to manifestation and utilizing the law of attraction have led to the creation of one of the top global success networks, Diamond Academy Coaching. Thousands of students have been able to experience quantum growth. The force behind her magnetic field has catapulted many students into a life beyond their wildest dreams, and she is just getting started. Kathleen helps others step into their true potential and to become the best version of themselves with their goals met. Without further ado, welcome Kathleen to the show. Hello, Kathleen. I am so happy to talk to you and meet you today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Linda.
So excited to share you and what you're doing in the world with my audience. If they don't already know you, I've been sharing all about you. I've been telling everybody to Google you and go to your YouTube because I've learned so much from you. Tell us a little bit, the people that don't know who you are, just a little background on where this began for you. I know that you were a nurse and married with kids and doing the normal thing. And then you found Bob Proctor, I believe.
I did. Yes. Yeah, my life took a beautiful turn. I had just quit my nursing career in 2019, right before COVID, about 6 months before COVID. And we downsized our house. I had an online business in network marketing. And it was, I had replaced my nursing income with that. So I was kind of at the same place financially that I'd always been. And then in September of 2019, I decided I wanted to quantum leap my life. I was like, you know what? I'm ready to go. I'm seeing all these people that are, just going from one place to another, skipping levels, just doing big things. And I think I can do that. So, I called in, Bob Proctor into my life. I got introduced to him. I had seen the movie The Secret and read the book, but that's as far as it went. And, so when I, met him and I got introduced to him and I took one of his courses, my life just started to explode. I started to really, really tap into the power of who I am and, tap into my oneness and really, really guide source energy towards what I desire. And, the rest has been just this massive, quantum leap upon quantum leap upon quantum leap. And, my life and my business has, it's a completely different business now. I'm not network marketing. I own my own company. I'm the CEO of, a coaching academy now, and travel around the world. I'm a single woman now, which is, a new experience for me for the past 2.5 years. And, I'm just, building my dream life every single day and living in gratitude while I do it.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I just watched one of your videos, and it said you're at 25 million, going towards 30 million in revenue, correct?
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's a little old. We're at like 38 or 39 million now. Yeah.
Okay. So, when was all this? How long ago? You said 2022?
2020. So I launched my own business January of 2020. And then I made my first $1 million in the first 7 months. And then that year I ended up doing $3 million. and then 12 million the next year. And it just,
Wow. Oh my
yeah.
God. So tell us a little bit about some of the journey. So Bob Proctor was your main mentor, correct? And you are now an amazing teacher because I have learned from you and I've been studying this stuff for years.
Mhm.
And I know that beliefs are a huge piece here. And that's probably been one of my things, that and worthiness. Teach what we need. So, but you're an amazing teacher. So tell us, were there any challenges along the way? I mean, did you just skyrocket and quantum leap, or did you have any failures along the way?
It's such a beautiful question actually, because I always want to teach this material and this way of living in such an authentic and genuine way. And so sometimes we look at people's lives and we look at all the high notes and the peaks, and we just see all the good and all of the successes, the awards and the best-selling books and the money and all this kind of stuff. But the law of rhythm says, life is a roller coaster ride. We are constantly riding these waves. And over the past 4 years, I've had the most phenomenal, beautiful peaks, but I've also had valleys. And, I don't want to say failures, because as long as I'm waking up every day and deciding to show up as the best of myself, I've never failed. So even in the moments where things haven't been the best, some of the lowest months in business, or when I had pneumonia and had emergency lung surgery in 2022, when I separated from my then husband, and now, business partner and co-parenting guru, all of those things were the valleys. They were the things that allowed the peaks to be so incredible and amazing, and have allowed me, to soar and grow and become the woman I am today. So without the valleys, I wouldn't be who I am. And so, I've grown the most in those challenging moments, and I've shared them publicly and talked about them publicly, because I think it's important that we are all sharing our roller coaster ride of our lives together.
Right. So it's not linear, right? So did I hear you say your ex-husband is your business partner?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris is, he's a co-founder of Diamond Academy. We were married when the business was created, and we've made the decision to continue on and to continue to make an even bigger impact in this world. And so we co-parent our daughters beautifully. We run this business together. And we are still each other's emotional support as well. So I call him when I need him. So he's a very dear friend of mine as well.
You are so blessed. That's so amazing. Oh my goodness. So thank you for sharing all that. Thank you for your authenticity and just showing up for the world. You're serving so many and you're helping people all over the world. Tell us the importance, as far as serving, how am I trying to ask this question? It has to do with creating what you've created requires so many things, right? The universal laws, the consciousness, and one of those giant pieces is the value you're giving. Is that correct?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I truly do believe that in order for me to step into the best version of myself, it is required that I have a vision, a mission, a calling, a purpose outside of what my small little world tells me it is. And what I mean by that is I used to use a hashtag doing it for my girls. So when I had my online business and I was wanting to make an impact through that, I started branding myself on social media. I used that hashtag, doing it for my girls. I'm building this business for me and for my daughters and for my family. But now that I want to make global impact and I want to help people in a completely different way, in a bigger way, it's not just about me. It's not just about my daughters. This is about something bigger than just my immediate surroundings. And it's just like taking the lid off of the limitations within the mind to see that, hey, I am a woman that can impact people positively. So now for me, the personal growth and development, the wanting to become a better version of myself, it isn't just for me. It is for a greater purpose and mission. And so my human is 111 as I say this, which is my spirit sign. My human within, Kathleen, the personal mind, the ego, she's like, oh, you're helping people. You're doing a good job. But source energy, spirit, the calling, the reason why I'm here is It's not about doing a good job. This is about making a difference. This is far beyond that. And so it's just a higher purpose, a higher calling, a higher meaning. And I'm coming from a higher spiritual perspective. So I don't sweat the small stuff as much because, we have some big work to do.
Oh my God, absolutely. And I'm right with you there. I'm just a few steps behind. Yes, the giant mission that you're doing. When you talk about your online business, is that the marketing?
The network marketing, yes.
Network marketing.
Yeah.
So you created that to equal the income that you had in the nursing career. That's gigantic in itself if you were able to do that, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I did that before this work.
Right.
So that's what was really fun about it. But it actually is such a beautiful example of how if we don't change the way in which we are and the way in which we see ourselves and the identity with which we hold, we won't go past what we're set to go past. So I literally trained to become a nurse to make $100,000 a year. That's what I was programmed to.
Right.
Then I start a side business and I grow it to what? $100,000 a year so that I can let go of the nursing, but still be at the same place in my life. Yeah. So it wasn't until I reprogrammed the identity of who I am that I went from this $100,000 a year to $100,000 a month to $100,000 a day to $100,000 in an hour.
That's incredible. And that was the Bob Proctor reprogramming, right?
Originally, yes. My first 3 to 4 months of this work were with Bob Proctor. And now I've expanded to several different authors, mentors, thought leaders. Yeah.
And you've written a couple books as well.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I have 2 books.
What's the first book?
The first book is called Becoming the One, the story of my first quantum leap. Forward was written by my dear friend Bob. And then my second book is called The Best of Yourself, How to Manifest Your Best Damn Life Through You.
I am inviting you to join my brand new community, Empowered and Rich AF. This is a space for women entrepreneurs like you who want a supportive, loving environment to learn, grow, and connect. And guess what? It's only $5 a month with no commitment. You can cancel anytime. Plus, I'm giving you your first 2 weeks free, and there's a bonus. There's a bonus course waiting for you as soon as you join. So if you're ready to take your empowerment to the next level and build the abundant life you deserve, join us. Just click the link in the show notes to get started. I can't wait to see you inside.
Yes. Tell us a few pieces for the audience on this topic, because I have been growing, healing, evolving for many, many years, and it's incredible the layers that keep happening, right? And I know it's like you said, such powerful messages. You said, as long as I'm waking up and deciding that I'm going to show up for myself and others, or, I'm going to be this Kathleen that's making this impact, right? You are winning.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. One of the energies that I find is it's the way in which we self-sabotage the most is to be displeased with ourselves, to be disappointed in ourselves, to actually say that we aren't good enough, we aren't doing enough, we haven't tried hard enough. So that energy, if you think about it, it doesn't come from a place of self-love. It's not unconditional self-love. It's criticism. It's judgment. And so when you're criticizing and when you're judgmental, that's lower vibrational. It's not high vibrational. So for me, I want to love myself unconditionally, to give myself compassion, to give myself grace, to see all the ways that I'm thriving, that I'm growing, all the good that there is within me. So vibrationally, the feeling of being me is strong, is powerful, and is closest to divinity as it can be. If we think about that divine state, source energy to match that, it's love, it's peace, it's joy, it's gratitude. So yes. I want to match that in the way that I think about myself every day. And it's not about having an ego. It's not about being egotistical or cocky. It's truly about seeing yourself for who and what you really are, and getting rid of all the wrong and small thoughts that you believed that said that you weren't that. So,
Exactly. That's incredible. Now, is that part of the oneness as well? You mentioned the word oneness
oh
earlier.
yes, 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 yes. You know, oneness is a belief that I hold very near and dear to my heart. That I am one with the source energy that created us all, with the all of everything. Some call it God, some call it universe, some call it source energy, formless substance. Doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is that we are not separate from this energy. We are a part of it. It's like a drop of water is a part of the ocean. We are one with this source energy that creates it all, and we create with it. So I guide and direct source energy, creative energy, through the intention of who I am being in this moment. The thoughts that I have, the way in which I feel every single day, and the actions that I do take in this physical 3D plane. So I'm understanding that primarily I'm a spiritual being. Secondarily, right. I'm having a human experience. So to come from that higher spiritual perspective and to see my human in a different way and to reprogram my human software differently, that's just the way I see it. It's led to like some incredible experiences in my life. And it's not to get something, but it's to grow into something. That's the purpose of it. It's to expand.
Yes. Yes. The intention is so huge. You didn't say to get. You don't have a get energy. You have a expansion energy.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And so a couple things. One is, have you heard the saying self-worth equals your net worth? And do you believe that?
I'm very cautious about what I choose to believe. I think it is very, very important for you to believe that you are worthy, yes. And I believe that it's important for you to believe that you are loved and all those kind of things. I'm not exactly sure that money and self-worth are always going to be one and the same. Because I think that you can believe that you are worthy of love. I think you can believe that you are worthy of success up to a point, but it doesn't necessarily equate to financial gain. So to say that like every single person that believes they're worthy is going to be a billionaire, well, where's all the billionaires? I mean, there's a lot of them, but there's also a lot of billionaires that probably don't believe that they're worthy for a lot of things. Like, why do we have really wealthy people with depression? And why do we have some celebrities that have drug abuse as part of their lives and things like that? So I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. I think there's more to it. It's about the wholeness of the individual and the spiritual and human experience and really creating that experience for yourself that gives you peace. That's what we're seeking is peace.
Yes, inner peace. Incredible.
Yeah.
I love that you just clarified that. And I love that so much because it's true. You can be worthy and not have manifested all of this monetary gain, monetary. So, and then you mentioned the judgmental, which is gigantic too, because that's how I grew up, in a critical, negative, judgmental, fear, lack, scarcity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, so many things to talk to you about. I want to touch on fear and how you handle that, because you say we are spiritual beings first in this human experience. So you live in that 4D kind of, right? We live in the 3D. Oh, yes. We're all in the 3D right now, right? But if we live as if we're spiritual, we can take these risks and chances, and which I've been doing for quite a while, living a certain way, and allowing it to be supported by the universe and God. And it's interesting. But so how did you handle the fear when that showed up?
So for me, the first thing was to understand what fear is differently. And I'm not trying to find the truth about fear, but I wanted to find my truth about fear. What is the best belief for me to have about fear? What story about it serves me the best? And then how do I want to feel about fear in my life going forward? So what I understand to be true, what my belief is that fear is a belief that exists within the mind. And so fear is not something that exists outside of us. Like, is there fear out in the forest right now, going around and wreaking havoc on people?
All in here.
It's all created within the mind. It is just a story, and a belief that exists there. So for me, being able to detach from that is to say, okay, my mind is now playing tricks on me. My mind is now saying this big scary thing is happening or could happen that is stopping me, slowing me down, making me disempowered. It's taking my power away, essentially. So when I understand that, I'm like, okay, I notice and I observe what it is that I'm feeling and I'm experiencing. Most of the time, it's discomfort. And it's discomfort because it's something I've never done before. So am I terrified because I've never done this before? Like, am I petrified? Am I really scared? No, oftentimes it's just discomfort. It's maybe a little bit of nervousness. It's maybe just because it's an experience that I haven't yet had. And just to remind myself that it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be excited and to move myself through that. But the moment that I'm like, oh my gosh, the fear is here. I'm really, really afraid. I'm really, really scared. I'm taking my own power away. I'm literally allowing my mind to direct source energy towards the thing that I fear instead of the thing that I truly desire. So through understanding fear for me and how it shows up and watching it, I can tell you I am a woman who is unafraid. Like, I don't walk around through life scared. That's not who I am. And is there uncomfortable moments? Yes. Like the first time I went live on TV in a TV studio, that was uncomfortable. Like to have all those cameras on you and things like that. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't scared something bad was going to happen. I was nervous. And even when I've launched different businesses, I actually have several companies now, and I'm an investor in others. So when we make investments like that or start other businesses or companies, I'm like, oh, I see what's happening now. It's unfamiliar. It's a little unnatural, and I'm a little uncomfortable right now. But I'm not afraid. And so I've just changed the way I see fear, and I do this with a lot of things. You'll see. I only identify things, talk about things, make them real, keep them alive if they serve me. If they don't, I'm just going to starve it from my focus and attention and let it leave my life.
So powerful what you just said. Starve it from your focus and attention. What we focus on grows, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So if you have debt and you focus on it, it's growing. So many things. You said it so well around wanting money. If you are wanting money, which was me a lot, you are going to have more wanting money, right? The universe is hearing you say, this is who I am. I'm wanting money. I'm needing money. And then that's going to be your experience, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And if we think about the vibration that we are in every single moment, right? So the feeling that we are in, that's what I mean by vibration. So if the feeling that you are in every day is, I don't have enough money and I want more or I need more, you're in a want more money energy, but you're really in the I don't have enough energy. So the universe is like, oh, she wants not enough. Here's not enough. So you're not going to call in millions of dollars from that energy. So instead, I take the $10 that I have in my bank account, and I'd be so grateful for it. I love the money that I've had in my life. I'm so grateful for all the money that's circulated through me, all the money that I have access to, the plenty that is all around me in my life. And I would love more of that plenty. So vibrationally, I'm not in the need. I'm not in the lack. I'm actually remaining in an abundance vibration. And then people ask me, well, how can you match an abundance vibration when you have no money? It's not the money that has you vibrating abundantly. It's the thoughts in your mind that have you vibrating abundantly. So for me, for example, do I think that $10,000 is a lot of money as the woman that I am today right now? It's really not a lot of money. But the version of myself 5 years ago, $10,000, that's a lot of money. What's the difference? My perspective, my perception. So how I feel about something determines the vibration that I'm in, not the something. Because money inherently doesn't have value until we give it value. using the law of relativity. So it's not the money that's having you vibrate high. You're vibrating high because you believe you're abundant, and you can believe you are abundant with nothing. That's what I did. That's what I did. I was $50,000 in debt, and I convinced myself I was a multimillionaire in my mind. And that's what happened.
Oh my gosh. We are segueing into the beliefs because that is so huge. And something else you say in some of your workshops that I've attended, you have said, be money, be abundance, be. So can you tell us how to be money or how to be abundance?
Yes.
Or be prosperity. Sorry.
Yes. It's hard to be money itself because money is like it's a physical thing, but now it's just an energetic thing. It's just a spiritual idea. But essentially what we want to do is we want to be the experience that we desire to have energetically. So if I want a loving romantic relationship and I want to attract and call in safe and secure love, how am I going to do that from believing that I'm not lovable, that I'm not worthy, that no good men exist, that real love isn't possible? Like, you can't actually call in the experience you want when you don't match it. So the important thing for me every single day is to be love every single day, to be in a safe and secure relationship with myself every day, to love myself unconditionally. I'm going to call in the experience that I desire from that energy that matches it. It's the same thing with abundance and prosperity, with wealth, with money, right? So in order for us to be prosperity, we be prosperity in our thinking. We be prosperity in the way that we show up every single day. So I can go and spend $10 on a latte, which, can you believe lattes are like $10 now? Like, I ordered one the other day, it was like $8.50. So I can go spend $10 on a latte, and I can be like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to love this latte. I'm going to enjoy it. This is so great. And I can spend the $10 in the feeling of having money, that I'm using it, I'm buying it, here we go. Or I can spend the $10 and be like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know if I want to spend the $10. I feel bad about it. You know, maybe I can use my points and get it for less next time. I'm going to go make my own coffee at home because that's way too expensive. Feel the energy. Two completely different energies behind purchasing something. And so to be prosperity is to make a decision to spend your money and to do it in the feeling of having it and know that you're worthy of it and you're grateful that you get to use it instead of feeling guilt and shame around it. That's lack and limitation. And it does not call in. It's not a vibrational match to more.
I know. It's so incredible. Yeah. It's like paying your bills, being like, thankful you can pay them. Thank you, electricity. Thank you that I have it, right? Thank you for offering me the service versus, oh my God, I have to pay this bill, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's just the energy. You're paying the bill either way.
Yeah.
So let's just control the vibration that we're in when we pay the bill.
Yeah. I'd love to hear how you changed your beliefs, a little bit on the beliefs. And then I would love to know, like, me personally, I love to know, like, do you eat animals? I know you don't drink because I heard that in one of your things and I don't either. So I'm curious. Is that a vibrational thing? It's a health thing. It's both. Because I think alcohol is it's a toxin and it's kind of a lower vibrational thing.
So I create all of my beliefs to serve me in some way. So when I first quantum leaped my business, I made, I don't know, $20 million, like in my first 2 years or something like that. I think it was $18 million in my first 2 years or something. Okay. I drank alcohol. I ate fattening fried food. I didn't exercise. So I didn't believe that it was bad or wrong or that it could hinder me in any way. I believed I could, and it served me at that time. Come 2022, I got to this point where I started to really think about being healthy and longevity of my vessel. So now my belief system started to change. It wasn't like, can I manifest a lot of money in a large body? It was, can I manifest a lot of money and live a really long life? And so my belief system started to change where, okay, great. I can make a lot of money and eat junk food and drink champagne all day. But what do I really want? I want to use the money. I want to be able to experience it, and I want it to last me a lifetime. And what's having $30 million if I'm in a hospital bed in a nursing home at 50 years old, not able to walk? So my perspective changed. So now for me, the reason why I move my body every single day and the reason why I eat nutritious and healthy food every single day that work for me is because of the longevity of my vessel. I believe that treating my body really well, treating it with love, will have it last the long run. But alcohol is a little different. You know, at first it was a decision to not drink because of the health related benefits. You know, treat my body really, really well, make it last a long time. I'm not going to put alcohol into it. But what I have also found is that the clearer my mind is, the closer to the divine I am, and the more connected to God I am, the more I can hear the whispers, trust my intuition and stuff like that. So, you know, if I ever do decide that I want to have a glass of something, maybe I will, but at this point, it's just, I don't feel the call to drink alcohol. It's just not for me. And in terms of foods, I eat the foods that I feel called to do. And so I still eat chicken and fish and stuff like that. I don't eat red meat all that often. It doesn't make me feel very good. But I don't think that anything can keep your manifestations away from you unless you believe they can.
So good. Yeah. What about your routine, like your morning, like you talk about being connected to source, and do you have a powerful morning practice, powerful meditation practice, morning, evening?
No, I used to. I used to be much more in the masculine and the mechanical, where I would plan out things and I would say, okay, for the first 60 minutes a day, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And then, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to do these things before I go to bed. But now I'm just guided so intuitively that when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do is just think about how grateful I am for that day. And then I do whatever I feel called. So sometimes it's listening to certain types of music in the morning. Sometimes it's visualization or gratitude. Sometimes it's to read for a few minutes as soon as I wake up. Other times I get outside, put my shoes on and walk every morning first thing. So I'm just really guided by whatever I feel intuitively to do in the moment. I don't think that one specific routine is going to amount to a certain level of success. I think I'm successful no matter what I do, no matter what the routine is, because I am the way, not the routine with which I follow. So routines can be super, super helpful. And when somebody is first entering their manifestation journey and learning how to understand their software and harmonize all three planes, spiritual, intellectual, physical, we need more of that structure. So I highly suggest that at the beginning. But once you come from a higher spiritual perspective, you don't need to do as much of those things. And I'm also very self-aware that if I feel and I notice that my perception of my oneness is wavering, I know what to do. I know what meditation I want to go to, or what visualizations that I want to do, or what books pull me right back. Just last week, we experienced a lot of loss in our lives. My brother-in-law passed away suddenly, which was a rather large loss for our family. And then that same week, we lost our pup Humphrey, our 16 or 17-year-old dog Humphrey. We had to put him down in the same week. So I felt a lot of heaviness around those human emotions. And so I went to read Return to Love by Marianne Williamson as just a beautiful reminder, that I am love. It is what I am. And that is the God within me, is the feeling of love. So it was just following the intuitive guidance to give myself the tools in the moments that I need them that work the most for me.
So good. Yeah. I do teach my clients to have a morning practice because I like starting my day. It's not rigid anymore. It's not like I have to. I get to, and it's different. It's not as routine. It's more like what you do, what you feel called. But I do wake up and say, thank you, God, for a new day the minute I open my eyes.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you. So you mentioned the Return to Love book, and I'm curious, do you study the Course in Miracles, or do you believe in the Course?
I've only read Marianne Williamson's Return to Love, and I haven't completed the entire book. I don't tend to read books all the way through. I'll read books until I feel that I've gotten what I've meant to get from it. So I haven't finished A Return to Love. But from what Marianne talks about in A Return to Love, I think Course in Miracles is probably phenomenal. It's probably amazing. But no, I've never studied it.
Well, it's just an easier version. It's like she's interpreting the book into that return to
Yes.
love.
Yeah.
So you're just so amazing. I'm just in awe. I'm so grateful to be with you today. And I'm listening to you and I'm just soaking it all up and I'm just loving your presence. I just can't even tell you.
Aw.
I just know that I mean, you're me and I'm you, right?
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing
That's
about,
the oneness.
yeah, that's the beautiful about this work is that we are all one. And so whatever experience that you see somebody else having that you want to have, whether that is success or whether that's peace or spirituality or self-love, whatever experience that is that you're observing, that experience is available within you. That's why you're seeing it and saying, I would love that. So it's just an example of something that you can experience for yourself. And so if I can be an example for anybody, I love it. Like, yes, I will be that example for you, but I also have other examples in my life that I look to and that inspire me. And I know that, if it's available for them, it's available for me. And so it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those things that inspire you?
You know, for me, it's impact. I get really, really inspired now by the ability to serve more people, to help more people. So, to see, like, I would love to see, we see these big stadium shows with like 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 people in a stadium to watch a concert. And I just think about like, man, how beautiful would it be to have 50,000 people in a stadium doing a collective meditation and collectively ascending in their identities and like to be going through personal growth and development together in one room. I just think that sort of thing inspires the heck out of me because I think that changes the collective, that changes the world and the ripple effect. Every single person walking out of there being empowered changes the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
How beautiful.
It's so beautiful. I would love to share. I'm always saying how powerful we are. And the belief thing is, I think, holding a lot of people back, period. Like I started reading Jamie Kern Lehman's book. And when that book first came out, Worthy, I was like, oh, this is the puzzle piece I think that I need. And I started studying into it and I'm thinking, this is like the mental health crisis of the world. This is it. This is it in a nutshell. It's worthiness. Like people just have these stories and programs and limiting beliefs from their upbringing, from the conditioning. And none of it's true. None of it's fact. None of it's true. And we're all people. We're all part of the one. We're all part of you. We're all. And I had a coach once who said, if it's scary and exciting, you have to do it.
Yeah. Bob used to say that.
Yeah. If it's scary and exciting, you have to do it. But so many people are too afraid and they just won't do it. And that's the small mind, the fear. And fear is protecting. It's that fear, lack, and ego. So like the Course in Miracles teaches like fear, lack, and ego over here, and then higher self, love, and source over here, right?
Yeah.
So the fear, it's really just trying to protect us, but we don't need it, right? And you said, if all the money went away, you would not change, I forgot what you said. You said something like, if it all went away, how did you say it in one of your workshops, I think?
Yeah. I truly am, detached from any outcome here. So what that means is like, I'm not gonna understand this work, embody this work, teach this work because of the financial gain with which I receive. Like, I'm doing this for the love of it, for the desire to serve and the desire to impact. And so if all of this were to go away, I wouldn't take this big, huge hit. Like, I'm not going to suddenly be a failure and life be over with. Like, I have risen in the consciousness with which I'm in now to know that would be meant to be and that would be okay and everything would be fine. But I would just do it again. Like, I mean,
right. That's what, one of my clients, I told her, she's like, oh, that's because she knows she could just make it. She could just create it again.
Well, of course. Yes. And that's because I created a mindset of a belief system of a woman who is not looking for a savior, but saves herself. And like, that's a very different empowered way of existing. And so I do believe now that I could be successful at whatever I want to be successful at. This is the thing that I've been called to do. This is my zone of genius. And I will forever be here to help people ascend and elevate. And it's not because I gain from it. It's because I absolutely love it. And do I gain from you winning? Yeah, it makes me really happy. But I just want to see other people win. That's what really I think that's what I'm here for, is to help with that and observe that. And that makes me really happy. So if I can keep doing that, let's go.
Yes. How important is having fun in life in attracting things? Do you have that belief that the more fun you have, the more money you make, or the more joy that you create? Is that a belief that you created? I love that belief. I heard it first from Gabby Bernstein. She was like, the more fun I have, the more money I make.
Well, I think it's really beautiful. You could believe that in any way, right? Like, so the more I rest, the more money I make. The more fun I have, the more money to make. The more sex I have, the more money I make. Like, you could believe any of these things. I just would not want to believe the opposite. This is what most people think. If I rest too much, I'm not going to make the money. If I'm out there having too much fun, then I can't make the money, right? So either way, I'm making the money. Yeah. Like, that's the belief that I want to have. But like, having fun in life, that's like, what are we here for if we're not having a good time? Like, I want to go out and do things that are really, really fun. I want to experience fun things, and everybody's idea of fun is different. Also joy, like the feeling of joy, like laughter, joy, out there, like having a good time, going on adventures, traveling, seeing the world, experiences. I think they're all so incredibly important and valuable. If you're not doing that, does that mean that you can't manifest? No, you can manifest from any belief system. So you don't have to have fun to manifest, but why wouldn't you want to have fun and manifest?
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, I want to touch on before we end about beliefs and how people can change their beliefs today. But how important, so, I don't know if you're aware, but so Mary Morrissey, her school, the Brave Thinking Institute, I am provisionally certified through, and I know she learned under Bob Proctor. I've been on this journey and I've been investing since 2016, and ultimately I wasn't certified, but I left real estate and left Michigan, moved to Florida 2 years ago, changed my life, started the podcast, the coaching, and then I finally did the certification thing. But, I was a single parent. I overcame a debilitating illness. I grew up in a victim mindset. Had poor parenting. I got in trouble when I was young. I overcame a lot, and I'm not going to start crying. I don't want to, but I know that crying is healing and good. But anyway, so why did I bring up Mary? Okay.
We're going to ask about beliefs.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the beliefs and what people can do, because yes, to change the beliefs, because I feel like worthiness and beliefs, and I know self-love is gigantic, and we touched on that earlier, and I've been on that journey as well. So, beliefs, and also coming from the end. So I love that. And I know Makosi, and I just interviewed her, and something she said, which I heard this from Mary Morrissey, and I hear this all the time, and I know you probably speak this too, but like, if we are that person, or I always say next week's not promised, tomorrow's not promised. Like, I like to live in that space, but I know there's a distinction because we do live in the 3D. Anyway, around like, if I had 2 days left, what am I going to do? How am I going to live? Right? That's kind of, yeah. So, yeah. A touch on the beliefs, and then also, do we come from the end result? Like, what do you believe on that?
I truly believe that the present moment is all there is. So if we think about how source energy works, how attraction works, how vibration works, how manifestation works, who I am in this moment right now today is the only moment that matters. So if I'm going to be empowered tomorrow, who cares? Write it off. Like, I mean, what are we doing? Like, that's just a waste of energy, and it's a waste of time. Be empowered right now. If you're going to be confident, be it now. So right now in this moment is all that matters, and that it is all that is real in this 3D realm that we're in. Understanding that there are multiple dimensions, and on other dimensions, like the 4th dimension, there is different experiences of me there occurring. And so when I make a decision, okay, I want to, in this moment, call on a different experience to me. I want more money. I want a loving relationship. I want greater health. I want to be on a cover of a magazine, whatever. All of those things. I desire them. Well, who I'm being today hasn't brought them to me because I don't have them. So that must mean that who I'm being in this moment needs to be a little different somehow. So we can go on to the fourth dimensional plane and we can ask, okay, so the version of me that is existing on a different timeline, that has the magazine cover, that has the money, that has the romantic relationship, what is she like? What does she think? How does she vibrate? How is the emotional conception of who she is at that place? And then I be that now. So it's truly still in this present moment. I'm still here in the present moment. I'm not in the future. I'm in the present moment, but I'm living and acting like an iteration that exists on a different plane, the future, if you want to call it that, if that makes sense.
Who you be, right? Becoming. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it truly is like, I don't like the idea act as if, because when we say that we're acting as if, we're still in the pretend energy that it's an act. So instead I say, how can you practice being? So if you don't believe you're confident right now and you desire to be, don't just affirm that you are. Don't just start with an affirmation and I'm confident, I'm confident, I'm confident. Go and practice being confident. Act like it. Right now. In this moment, act like you're confident. Be it.
Take an act. Yeah.
Yeah. Not pretend. Be. And that will actually reprogram the subconscious mind almost immediately. Like this. That's my belief.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah. And you also say that you taught yourself, you believe that you can change your beliefs in an instant.
Yes. Yeah. I actually saw somebody somewhere say that and I went, holy crap, I don't believe that. I was like, I do not believe that. Like, I think changing my beliefs takes time, constant spaced repetition. I got to do hypnotherapy. I got to use timeline therapy. Like, I gotta do it over and over and over and over and over again. And so when they said that, I was like, I gotta believe that. That's it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I reprogram, I accept a belief like that. Let's go. And so now that's my experience. Like, I change my mind very quickly, intentionally on purpose for the right reasons. I'm not just like changing my mind all the time, but very intentionally. And I let it be easy.
Yeah. You mentioned the 40 for people who are listening and they don't know what that is.
The fourth dimension, that's the imagination. That's the creative plane. That is where all the origination of all creation begins, in the fourth dimension, and it moves into the 3D physical world. So every single thing that we are witnessing right now, that we are observing, we're experiencing, the computers, the internet, the cars, the houses, everything started in someone's imagination. So that's the fourth dimension. So everything comes from fourth down into the third.
Yeah. I was just reading. I forgot what I was reading, but it talked specifically about imagination and how that is literally what we have. I think it was a Wayne Dyer book, actually. It was a book. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Power of Intention right here, Wayne Dyer.
Yes, that's my book. I was underlining. I have it and I've had it for a long time, but I actually bought it for my son a while back, him and I. Wow. What?
But I think the difference, Linda, though, with people with the fourth dimension of imagination is many people are living up in the imagination, just dreaming and not doing anything else but that. And so that's almost just like futile daydreaming. But when you are up in the imagination and then you think, feel, and act from what's in the imagination, that's where your timeline here matches the fourth dimension timeline. So you've got to believe in what's in the imagination so much that you act from it. And so right now here, like KCB, like I'm thinking from an imaginative place where there's billions of dollars surrounding me. And so here right now in this 3D physical plane where I'm not observing billions, I'm still acting like I have billions. I'm thinking from billions. I'm feeling from billions. I'm showing up from billions. It's a different experience.
Yeah, because of my programming and conditioning around money, the default is always so limited. It's so small. It's so, and I was watching something on YouTube, like, somewhere about $20 million that somebody, I forgot who, Beyonce or someone spent to create a movie. And I was like, 20 million. And it just shifts me like within seconds. Like it gets me like enough with the small. Like I want, right?
Yeah.
And, I think in one of your, maybe YouTube or one of your workshops, you were saying something about 1,000 or maybe it was Makosi. One of you guys were saying that there's really no difference between the 1,000, the 10,000, the 100,000, the 10 million. It's just an extra zeros. I think it was Makosi.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, but I believe that too. And the beautiful thing about all of this work, and it's really, really powerful, and I spoke about this on my House of Manifestation call today. What you are attracting to you is happening based on the vibration that you're in. So there's no outside governing body that is saying you should vibrate like this and you should vibrate like this and you should vibrate like this. And there's no energetic body or realm that is saying that, okay, you believe this, so you're going to vibrate like this. It's you. So your patterns and your programs, where do they exist? They only exist in your mind. So if we literally just wiped out your memory right now from your past, and you just showed up here on this call with me today, and I said to you like, hey girl, I know who you are. You're Linda. You're a multimillionaire. You da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You will suddenly vibrate from the belief that you're a multimillionaire, and the universe is going to be like, oh, okay, here you go. And you will, from this moment forward, you will start your journey towards multi-millions, and the universe will give you that. So the only limitation is actually what's in your memory. The universe is not responding to the actual past of who Linda's been. It's responding to what you believe about who Linda's been. So the universe just gives you what you ask for. So you don't have to believe any of that anymore. You can believe something completely different.
Right. And that's the plan. It's Linda Brand, the multimillionaire, the author, the coach, the everything. I know because I crave it. I went to see Tracy Litt, in Palm Beach and stayed at the, oh my gosh.
My dear friend Tracy.
Oh my gosh. In love with her the minute I heard her speak. The minute I learned of her, I was like soul sister. And I went to see her live and I stayed at the O. And I was like, tears were pouring as I'm standing, looking at the pool. Have you stayed at the O?
No, I've never stayed at the O, no.
On the ocean. And I'm like, this is like tears of, I belong here. This is where I belong. Right? It's like a Cinderella story. And so I crave it. So I know it's meant for me. I know it's there. And I know in the 5D or the 4D or somewhere it's already manifested. Yeah, there's, so do you believe that there is, as far as time, like everything's happening at the same time?
I think time is not real. It's something that the human condition has created for us to create order and understanding. So I do believe that there are multiple timelines and things existing all at one time. And I find this with people because when I meet someone, I don't see them for who they are. I see them for who they've been, who they are, and who they're going to be. So I can actually tap into the energetic field of their entire experience. And how do I do that? How do I know that? Because I've detached and disconnected from time. Even if I look back to myself 4 years ago and even the way that I looked, I look like a completely different person. But what's the difference? It wasn't time. Because I likely would have aged. Let's say that. Like people keep telling me, Kathleen, you're getting younger. Like you're Benjamin Button. It's not time. It's growth. And so if we think that time heals and over time you'll get what you want and time this and time that, it's a limitation.
Yeah, I agree. It's wild because I look at pictures of myself from 2018 and 2019 and I'm like, I do not look younger. I look older, actually.
Oh yeah, so do I. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But that's ascension. That's growth in rise in consciousness. You'll start to look very different, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah. And then the last question, how can people strengthen their intuition? You talked so much about it and I do have a strong one, but tell people, how can they strengthen that?
Yeah. I think one of the most powerful and beautiful ways for you to be more intuitive is to trust yourself. So if you actually lack self-trust or you second guess yourself, you hesitate. If you're always seeking from outside of you, so if you're always asking for other people's feedback and opinion, you don't trust yourself. Even things like getting dressed in the morning. Like if you got to go ask somebody if your outfit's good or not, you're just lacking self-trust in yourself, and that's okay. But I would actually grow your self-trust muscle. Start to make decisions for yourself, believe that your decisions are correct and right and all those things, and practice trusting you. Because intuition, in order to act on it, you must trust. And you must trust you. Intuition isn't this thing that comes from outside of you telling you to do things. Intuition comes from inside of you. And we have so many in the spiritual world, we have so many people that are like seeking signs. Stop it. The signs are you. The signs are within you. And so you even asking for a sign and then seeing the sign is just your intuition. Like, what does the sign really mean? Like, do you think it's somebody else that's really doing something for you and putting the sign in front of you? It's just a lack of self-trust. So for me, self-trust is the biggest thing for intuition. Intuition also does not come through when I'm super, super busy, super, super hustling, thinking a lot, worrying, stressed, overwhelmed. Intuition speaks in the quiet, in the soft moments, in the alone moments, in the moments that I'm within, in my oneness and connection to source energy and the divine. So that means you got to stop, you got to slow down, you got to rest. That's when intuition comes through and speaks for me, because intuition isn't always going to be this big, big, loud thing. It could be a soft little whisper. And so your ability to be okay with rest and relaxation and quiet will harness your intuition as well. One thing I always tell people is to observe your intuition first, then act on your intuition. So practice the observation of it, write it down, create a journal, my intuitive hits, and then just start writing the intuitive hits that come through. And then once you've practiced that, then practice acting.
Yeah. And do you believe there are no mistakes? Like, so say you make a decision and then you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Well, no, it happened and there's a highest good or.
Oh yeah, no, I would never say I shouldn't have done that. That's not part of my energy anymore. Like I have no regrets, no remorse. I don't look back on things and say I shouldn't have, because that's not a creative energy. That's a disintegration energy. So I must have made that decision for a reason, and it was the right one at the time. And so now I've got this beautiful learning and growth and understanding that's going to help me with the next decisions that I make.
So beautiful. Oh my gosh. Is there anything else? I could talk to you for hours, and I just want to be respectful of your time. What else do you want to share? Because I know that being in the present moment is all we have. Let's just recap. And loving yourself is so gigantic and important, and unconditionally loving ourselves, right?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And
I think the last thing that I'll say, Linda, as we close up here, is just really, really the importance of having a firm desire. So wanting something that you benefit from, that you gain, that you are emotionally involved with, that you have fallen in love with. And when you desire something, that is the springboard to manifestation and creation. So I always tell people, please keep dreaming and allow yourself to fall in love with the dream, because that's what starts the whole manifestation process.
I love that so much. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Tell everybody where they can follow you and find you.
I am on YouTube, Kathleen Cameron Manifests, Instagram as well, Kathleen Cameron Manifests. And then my books are on Amazon, which we talked about earlier. So you can find me anywhere.
Yeah. One of your books is free, right?
We have a free download of Becoming the One. Yep.
Becoming the One. So
for sure. Yeah.
It was incredible.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I know you have so many choices of things to listen to. I hope it was valuable to you and you enjoyed it. If it was, please share with someone you think would benefit from listening to it. Also subscribe so you know when the next episode is. I would love a review. It would mean so much to me to grow this audience and help as many people as possible. So have a wonderful day and live empowered. Till next time, take care.